our goal is to really build really high quality B2B data, linking data on people and companies together, taking in data from thousands of different sources and building one source of truth essentially on the labor market, on companies in the market, and we provide that data out to a variety of end users. The first thing that we have is a data set of people. We have an identity graph of over 3 billion unique identities that we believe represent about 1 billion unique people globally. Within that data set, the research use cases, HR use cases that a lot of customers and institutions focus on really dive into our 800 million resumes that we have globally. We provide updates to that 800 million set of resumes monthly. So we continue to ship off, job change data, information on people's education, skills, et cetera, on a monthly basis for people to use. We then take that data, and one of the things that I've mentioned a couple of times is we have this standardized data set of companies. So we actually also provide out our data set of 60 million companies. That company data set has core firmographic information for identifying the company, like its name, its website, its industry, how much funding it's raised, and we ship that out on a monthly basis. And then the thing that's really exciting, that's actually freely available if you're a subscriber to Dewey, is our company insights data, which provides aggregated person resume data at the company level. So if you're looking to understand, for example, the change in engineering and sales headcount at a certain company or within a group of companies, we already have pre-done and pre-built those aggregations for our customers. And that data is available in Dewey. We break down headcount by role, we break down headcount by location, we look at, what companies are people coming from, what companies are people going to, and in investment use cases, in talent analytics use cases, for research use cases, people will often leverage this aggregated data as a way to quickly get signal, as a way to quickly understand trends, and then they might potentially go back to the person data, either anonymized or de-anonymized, to actually go and deep dive into the individual resumes. So what we do is we combine two main sources of data. The first is our data union, which is unique and novel and what makes our data so powerful. The data union is a data sharing co-op. So customers provide us with warrants that they have, acquired the data compliantly, that they have the right to pass on the data to a reseller and an aggregator, and that data can be used for a series of use cases that we outline in our acceptable data use policy. This allows us to serve, some of the companies in the Fortune 1000 all the way down to startups and have them be confident that the data that we're sourcing is acquired in a compliant way. And when it comes to B2B contact information, right, that's increasingly important just with the landscape of regulation that's going on. And the second source for data is public data. So we crawl the open web. We use that data to just enhance our data set. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on is our ability to standardize and match the data to each other. So when you're getting in data from thousands of different sources, you have to resolve that data down into a singular data set. Otherwise, it's just sort of a mess. And we use public data to help support that. So things like title standardization, location standardization, company standardization, as well as additional information on people are examples of things that we might get from the public web and use to enhance the process of taking in this data union data and consolidating it down into a single source of truth. We have a very, very diverse set of users using this data across a lot of use cases. Typically in Q&A sessions, I get a lot of questions about sort of the art of the possible and what things are achievable with the data, what the limitations of the data are. So I always like to highlight and just spend a little bit of time sitting on this slide, highlighting that there's so many broad use cases because this is a really broad just data set on the workforce. And I think people can get really, really lost in that sometimes, but also really, really energized by the fact that, there's tons and tons of different use cases for our data.